I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. It's not available because if you try it once, you will die.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're examining the biggest, most shocking, and most viral controversies involving famous faces from each year of the 21st century so far.
He was a deeply creepy bloke who was up to no good. And it was very, very difficult to get your head round.
2000, Gloria Trevi's abuse arrest.
Aunque me vean siempre con enredos, me gusta todo lo que sea sincero.
After going solo in 1989, Trevi became one of Mexico's biggest pop stars, with a string of #1s and roles in films, earning her the nickname of Mexico's Madonna. But in 2000, her image took a massive hit when she was arrested in Brazil alongside her then manager, Sergio Andrade.
After a police manhunt, Trevi was arrested with 2 accomplices.
Somos inocentes, señor.
The police had been looking for them for months after allegations they had kidnapped and abused girls after several backing singers and musicians came forward. In 2004, after 4 years and 8 months in jail in Brazil and Mexico, Trevi was released due to a lack of evidence. In 2023, after the singer was included in a lawsuit from alleged victims, Trevi issued a countersuit against them and another suit against Andrade. 2001, Winona Ryder is caught shoplifting. In between her Oscar nominations and her starring role in the Netflix juggernaut Stranger Things, Winona Ryder made headlines for all the wrong reasons. The actress was caught trying to shoplift items worth over $5,000 in 2001 and spent the next several years in a high-profile court case.
He said the actress walked past 3 cash registers with a pile of clothes and handbags before leaving the store.
The charges ran the gamut, from burglary to grand theft to drug possession, although the latter was eventually dropped. This incident completely shattered Ryder's image as Hollywood's squeaky clean it girl, and even forced her into a 4-year hiatus from acting.
The actress is facing 4 shoplifting charges that carry a maximum 3-year jail term.
Ryder herself admits it was a dark time in her life, but thankfully she's managed to bounce back both personally and professionally.
They set up security cameras because of me?
No.
Wait, well then why did they set them up this week?
Because I can't think of a lie right now.
2002, Martha Stewart's insider trading. Given Martha Stewart's reputation for giving Americans happy homemaker tips, she was probably the last person anyone would suspect of being a white-collar criminal.
Martha Stewart decided to spend her last night of freedom away from the glare of the spotlight. Tomorrow, she trades that glare for surveillance of a different kind.
However, that changed in 2002 when it was alleged that Stewart had sold off more than 3,900 shares of ImClone Systems before its stock dropped 16% in value the next day. In 2003, Stewart was indicted on 9 felony counts related to insider trading, and in 2004, she was convicted on all counts and served 5 months in a federal prison.
What was a small personal matter became, over the last 2 years, an almost fatal circus event of unprecedented proportions.
Because of the scandal, Stewart had to step down from the board of directors of Martha Stewart Living Omni Media Incorporated, and she couldn't join again until 2011. 2003, Kobe Bryant's assault case.
Sometimes you may have, I don't know the extent of the discovery that the Bryant team has yet, but it's often used to find out specifically how a witness is going to testify, or you may have a written statement or a summarily written report.
In 2003, the Los Angeles Lakers star was in the midst of his legendary career with a massive trophy haul and records set to be broken. However, that year would also leave the biggest smudge on his legacy. The NBA star was accused of assault against a teenage hotel employee, resulting in sponsors cutting ties. After he was charged, Bryant claimed it was consensual.
As one of the many terms of probation, Bryant would undergo a polygraph test and have to admit his guilt or suffer the consequences.
During the court case, the defense team deployed dubious methods by attacking the woman's character. The case was then dismissed after she refused to testify. In 2005, after the woman issued a civil suit against Bryant, the case was settled out of court.
This is not a basketball game where I have a lot of control on the outcome. You really just got to let it go. And I think to do that, you instantly have to mature.
2004, Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake's halftime performance at Super Bowl 38 in 2004 is undoubtedly one of the most infamous television events of all time. At the end of Rock Your Body, Justin removed part of Janet's costume, exposing her breast for about half a second. The backlash was massive, with shocked and outraged commentators lamenting the country's moral collapse. Over 500,000 letters poured into the FCC, who fined CBS $550,000, although it was later voided. The controversy is now remembered for having unfairly tarnished Jackson's career while not affecting Timberlake's at all.
All the emphasis was put on me, not on Justin. And Justin, we were friends.
2005, trial of Michael Jackson. Since 1993, allegations about the King of Pop and inappropriate conduct with children have haunted his career. In 2003, the documentary Living with Michael Jackson shone a light back on it, showcasing a lot of questionable behavior from Jackson toward child Gavin Arvizo at his Neverland Ranch.
But I have slept in the bed with many children. I sleep in the bed with all of them. When Macaulay Culkin were little, Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side, Macaulay Culkin's on this side, his sister's in there. We're all just jamming the bed.
This led to the police gathering evidence to arrest and charge Jackson on several counts. In February 2005, one of the biggest celebrity trials got underway, garnering a media circus of attention as several celebrities testified for the pop star's defense. In June 2005, after a week of deliberation, the jury found Jackson not guilty of all charges.
The judge doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to talk to the doctor, and says, I am issuing a warrant for Michael Jackson's arrest. I'm forfeiting bail, but I'm going to hold it for an hour, and then the clock starts ticking.
2006, Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic rant. No one comes out of a DUI arrest looking good, but this drunken road trip ended up being the least of Mel Gibson's problems.
It seemed like he was definitely, had drank a little too many that night.
When the arresting officer refused to let him drive home, Gibson unleashed a hate-filled tirade full of jaw-dropping anti-Semitic remarks. After TMZ leaked the arrest report, it hit mainstream news outlets, and that was that for Gibson's image.
The devout Catholic wrote, I am not a bigot. Hatred of any kind goes against my faith.
The ensuing backlash threatened to capsize his entire career. Actually, it did for a while. In the years following this 2006 scandal, Gibson struggled to make new friends in Hollywood. He's since apologized and regained his footing in the industry, but there's no way Gibson will ever fully leave his words behind him.
You had some rough patches over the last 10 years.
Rough patch.
And how was that?
Not my proudest moment.
2007, Phil Spector's murder trial.
The inventor of the so-called Wall of Sound. Now he's in jail facing a minimum of 18 years in prison.
As the creator of the Wall of Sound music production style, Spector was one of the biggest producers in the industry. However, his life was turned upside down when actor Lana Clarkson was found fatally shot at his residence in Alhambra, California. Spector claimed it was self-inflicted, but the police didn't agree after gathering evidence and testimonies from staff of his involvement, so they arrested the producer for murder. In 2007, it was announced Spector's trial would be televised, drawing the world's media towards the event.
D'Souza's testimony seems to be the nail in Spector's coffin, but defense attorney Brad Brunion wastes no time trying to tear it apart.
However, a mistrial was declared after a hung jury. In 2009, after the retrial, Spector was found guilty and sentenced to 19 years to life. In 2021, he passed away in prison.
I met a lot of crazy people in my life. I met very few sane ones that I could talk to.
2008, O.J. Simpson's robbery.
Count 1, conspiracy to commit a crime, 1 year in the county jail.
Count 2, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, a minimum term of 12 months, max term of 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections.
In 1994, the former NFL star was thrust into the spotlight as he was arrested for the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, of which he was acquitted at the trial. By 2007, Simpson was living a very different life. He was arrested for taking part in the armed robbery of the Palace Station Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, for stealing sports memorabilia, which he claimed was stolen from him.
2 sports dealers, Al Beardsley and Bruce Fremong, say they were held in the room and robbed at gunpoint. 4 out of the 5 co-defendants testified against Simpson for lighter sentences.
With his conspirators making deals to testify against Simpson, his case went to trial in 2008. He was found guilty of all charges and was sentenced to 33 years. In 2017, Simpson was released on parole. In 2021, he was granted early discharge for good behavior. However, 3 years later, Simpson passed away.
And I didn't know I was doing anything illegal. I thought I was confronting friends. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it.
2009, Kanye interrupts Taylor Swift's award speech. When Taylor Swift won Best Female Video at the 2009 VMAs, Kanye was so outraged that he crashed Swift's acceptance speech and let everybody know what he thought.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
The moment was embarrassing for everyone, even Beyoncé, for whom West was advocating. Beyoncé graciously invited Swift back to the stage to finish her speech when she won for Video of the Year. West faced enormous public backlash for ruining Swift's big moment and apologized.
It was rude, period. And, you know, I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person.
But in 2016, he also later took credit in an improbable lyric for making Taylor Swift famous. 2010, Jesse James cheating scandal.
I never, in a million years, the last person I would ever want to hurt or harm is her.
In March 2010, Sandra Bullock suddenly cut short her European promotional tour for The Blind Side to deal with personal issues. As it turned out, several days before, a number of women came forward claiming to have had affairs with Bullock's husband, James. Best known for creating West Coast Choppers and hosting Monster Garage, the two married in 2005. James soon made a public apology to Bullock and his family before checking into a treatment facility to try to save his nuptials. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work, as the Oscar winner filed for divorce a month later, which was finalized by June 2010.
It was sad. You know, it's tough to tell somebody, someone that you love, it's tough to tell them something when you know when you tell them you're never going to see him again.
2011, Charlie Sheen's fall from grace.
Ambien, hello, Ambien, the devil's aspirin. Anyone, Ambien? I think that led to that thing in New York. I don't know. I know that's the one thing in the mix that was not part of my normal blend.
Starring in 2.5 Men, he was the reigning champion of TV acting, becoming its highest paid performer. Yet in 2011, Sheen had one of the most public downfalls in the industry's history. After entering a treatment facility for substance issues, the actor then criticized show creator Chuck Lorre multiple times in interviews, as he demanded a pay raise.
It's nothing this side of deplorable that a certain Chaim Levine, yeah, that's Chuck's real name, mistook this rock star for his own selfish exit strategy, bro.
So Sheen was fired, but he wasn't done. Sheen then did more interviews where his mental health was questioned after discussing tiger blood and declaring himself a warlock as he ranted.
You're dealing with a Vatican assassin. Sorry. What does that mean, you're wondering? Whatever, it's just a joke. People take everything so literally.
After Sheen spoke publicly about returning to 2.5 Men, it was announced Ashton Kutcher was cast to replace his character. 2012, Jimmy Savile's tarnished legacy. From charitable to con man, there may never be anyone who faces as steep a fall from grace as Jimmy Savile.
Did you make up your mind that you were going to be totally honest? Were there certain things you weren't going to say?
The bits that I didn't say are only those which I forgot.
The English celebrity made a name for himself through radio shows, eclectic interviews, and mountains of benevolent fundraisers. He was a good, honest man. Or at least, that's how it seemed until his death in 2011. While there had been allegations before then, Savile's passing opened the floodgates to hundreds of sexual misconduct claims.
Please do not let him get away with this perversion.
Don't let him continue to think he's untouchable, or that his secret is too well hidden.
You heard that right. There were hundreds, many of whom were underage at the time. The overwhelming evidence shook the industry to its core, with many still wondering how such a rampant predator never faced justice in his lifetime.
I don't think he would get away with that now. I think times have changed.
2013, Miley Cyrus's image change. At the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, the internet was awash with shock. During Robin Thicke's performance of Blurred Lines, Cyrus used a foam finger suggestively and twerked against the performer. It was a far cry from the wholesome image she developed during her Hannah Montana days.
And what has all this taught you?
That parents should believe their kids when they tell them their cousins are evil.
However, the seeds of the more risque change had been planted years before. On the same day as the VMA performance, Cyrus released the music video for Wrecking Ball, which drew further pearl clutching as she swung around in the buff and got intimate with a sledgehammer. When she was asked about the transformation on the Fashion Police show, Cyrus stated, quote, "It's called puberty."
You know now. You know what's happened. Madonna's done it. Britney's done it. Every VMA performance, anyone that performs, that's what you're looking for. You're wanting to make history. Me and Robin the whole time said, you know we're about to make history right now.
2014, Bill Cosby assault accusations. Before Hannibal Buress's rant at a stand-up show went viral in 2014, Bill Cosby was so loved and respected as a comedian that he was known as America's dad.
But this squeaky clean image was quickly shattered as the sexual assault allegations came pouring in.
However, after the Buress video gained attention, several women felt encouraged to come forward and accuse Cosby of misconduct. In 2018, Cosby was indicted and convicted of aggravated indecent assault against Andrea Constand and received a prison sentence of 3 to 10 years. However, in 2021, he was released early after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his conviction, citing a violation of due process.
Many do not see a legal path for another case, but some say they're not giving up.
Other cases are still pending, however, and the scandal has forever tarnished his legacy. 2015, Jared Fogel's crimes.
This is what I used to wear.
Wow, look at
this
that.
This was a 60-inch waist. Now these are the relaxed fit though, which is very important to have.
After getting national attention for losing a load of weight by exercising and consuming a Subway diet, Fogel joined the sandwich company in 2000 as a spokesperson, regularly popping up in their commercials. Subway even claimed he played a major role in vastly increasing their revenue.
Every Subway sandwich is made fresh right in front of you, so you choose all the ingredients. The meat, the veggies, the sauces.
However, after first coming to the police's attention in 2007, in 2015, Fogel's house was raided. After they found indecent media featuring children in his possession, the spokesperson was arrested. Not long after, Fogel pleaded guilty to his crimes as a part of a deal, and was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in jail, plus fines totaling $225,000 and a combined restitution to the victims of $1.4 million.
Just hours after that raid, Subway suspended their relationship with Jared, who in the past few years had become the public face of the sandwich empire.
2016, Donald Trump's Access Hollywood tape.
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss.
In any other election, this scandal would have ended the candidate's career. Somehow it didn't, as Trump went on to win the US presidency. Amid his campaign in 2016, footage of him talking in 2005 to Billy Bush for Access Hollywood came to light. Unknowingly being recorded on a microphone as they were on a bus, Trump was heard speaking grossly about Days of Our Lives actor Ariane Zucker and Bush's co-host Nancy O'Dell.
This is a time to set an example, for our youth, men and women, and to teach our children how to be respectful of each other.
Before talking about assaulting women, it was horrendous. Trump, who called it, quote, locker room talk, didn't get any serious repercussions. However, Bush, who weirdly laughed at the businessman's comments, was fired from Today.
Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
2017, Harvey Weinstein and Me Too. An influential producer once considered a titan in Hollywood, Weinstein was accused of assault and harassment by numerous women, as detailed by the New York Times and the New Yorker. After these stories came out, actress Alyssa Milano encouraged women around the world to share their stories on social media with the hashtag #MeToo.
It was started by actress Alyssa Milano. She tweeted out, "If all women who have been sexually harassed or assaulted wrote Me Too as a status, we might give people a sense of magnitude of the problem."
This would spark a movement that changed the way many industries viewed misconduct in the workplace. In February 2020, Weinstein was found guilty on multiple counts of misconduct and was later sentenced to 23 years in prison. Although that conviction has been overturned and he will be retried, he's still serving 16 years for a separate conviction as of 2024.
This is seen as a severe sentence and perhaps a watershed moment for the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein sentenced to 23 years behind bars.
2018, Allison Mack and NXIVM. Best known for her role as Chloe Sullivan on Smallville, this actress was involved in NXIVM, a sex cult dressed up as a multi-level marketing organization. As part of NXIVM, which she joined in 2006, Mack recruited girls to become slaves for cult leader Keith Raniere. In 2018, Mack was indicted on charges including sex trafficking and forced labor that potentially could have landed her between 14 and 17 years in prison. However, because of her cooperation with investigators in bringing down Raniere, Mack was only sentenced to 3 years in prison, 1,000 hours of community service, and was fined $20,000. She was released in 2023 after serving just 21 months of her term.
Prosecutors asked the judge to give Mack a reduced sentence because of the, quote, substantial assistance she provided with their investigation into the cult.
2019, Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin's college admissions scandal. In 2019, an FBI investigation named Operation Varsity Blues uncovered a criminal scheme in which parents were bribing their children's ways into top universities.
The bust is called Operation Varsity Blues, and the accusations range from paying thousands of dollars for higher SAT scores to presenting students as top athletes in sports they never even played.
It is a little enraging.
Among those involved were actresses Felicity Huffman, best known for her role in Desperate Housewives, and Lori Loughlin of Full House fame. Huffman paid $15,000 to have someone take her daughter's SAT test for her, and Loughlin paid $500,000 to have her daughter enrolled in the University of Southern California. Both actresses were arrested and did short stints in prison.
The ruling? 14 days in prison, $30,000 fine, 1 year supervised release, and 250 hours of community service.
The scandal shone a spotlight on how the rich are able to use money and influence to give their children an unfair advantage. 2020, Ellen DeGeneres' treatment of employees. The comedian presented herself on her talk show as a friendly, down-to-earth personality. However, rumors of mean remarks and actions had circulated for a while, and in 2020, employees began to speak out.
Remember, these were allegations of fear and intimidation at the workplace, of sexual harassment, of racism. Shocking allegations on their own, but this was at the Ellen Show.
In a report from BuzzFeed in July, employees alleged that Ellen presided over a toxic work environment where they were exposed to sexual harassment, racist comments, and other issues from the show's producers. Following these revelations, ratings dropped by more than 1 million viewers.
The Emmy winner finished by acknowledging she's not just a TV personality, she's also the boss of 270 people on her show's staff. Ellen says she wants them all to be happy and proud to work there.
In 2022, DeGeneres ended her show after 19 years on the air. 2021, R. Kelly abuse allegations. The R&B artist has long been suspected of having inappropriate relationships with underage girls. In 2002, R. Kelly was indicted on multiple counts of possessing obscene material involving children. Though he was acquitted, and a year later, he was able to beat the rap again.
Last month, Kelly was indicted again, this time charged with aggravated criminal sexual abuse of 4 women, including 3 who the charges say were minors at the time.
However, in the late 2010s, more allegations of misconduct and abuse emerged, along with a series of high-profile documentaries, including Lifetime's Surviving R. Kelly. In July 2019, federal prosecutors charged Kelly with multiple felony counts, including racketeering, exploitation, kidnapping, and sex trafficking. Altogether, it added up to a 2022 sentence of 31 years behind bars.
Is breaking his silence about the sexual abuse charges that landed him in jail last month. The embattled R&B singer spoke with Gayle for nearly
2022. The slap heard around the world. The morning after the 94th Academy Awards, everyone was talking about Will Smith, and not just because of his Oscar win. During the show, presenter Chris Rock made a tasteless joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's bald-headed appearance.
That was a nice one, okay.
In response, Will Smith climbed on stage and slapped the comedian, all on live TV. The burst of violence had more drama than all the Best Picture nominees combined, especially when Smith later won Best Actor for his work in King Richard.
You're gonna be the best that ever was. You're gonna be the greatest of all time. You know how I know? Because I planned for it.
Now regarded as the slap heard around the world, Smith's actions resulted in intense media controversy and a 10-year ban from future Oscar ceremonies.
Will responded, "I accept and respect the Academy's decision."
2023, the crimes of Danny Masterson.
According to the Associated Press, Masterson watched the women without any visible reaction during their comments, one woman calling him pathetic, disturbed, and completely violent.
In 2017, the former That 70s Show performer was enjoying life acting on the ranch. Unfortunately for the Scientologist, allegations of his abuse and assaults against women began to come out. Masterson was soon fired from the show, and his management team dropped him as a client.
The deputy district attorney saying justice may have been delayed, but ultimately still served.
Somebody needs to be held accountable, despite the length of the time.
Shortly after, more accusations came out, many of which were against other Scientologists at the time of the attacks. This led to Masterson being arrested and going to court. After the first case ended in a mistrial, the actor was retried in 2023. Masterson was found guilty of 2 of the 3 charges, the last resulting in a hung jury. He was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison.
I'm gonna explain my feelings to you through a highly disciplined form of Japanese poetry. Haiku. My heart aches with pain. When I see you, I vomit.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. 2024, the Sean Diddy Combs investigation. In September 2024, rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs was indicted on charges of trafficking and racketeering after a slew of lawsuits and allegations were brought to federal court.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment.
The indictment includes multiple accounts of abuse against women, illegal drug transportation, and larger schemes allegedly orchestrated by Combs, who was accused of coercing victims into sex acts that lasted for multiple days.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways.
Combs pleaded not guilty to the charges, and if convicted, he faces 15 years to life in prison. Given his high profile in the music industry, the investigation and subsequent trial generated significant media attention, breaking the silence on Combs' long history of alleged misconduct.
This is what the feds do. They measure twice, they cut once.
What was the biggest celebrity scandal the year you were born? The 1991 arrest of Paul Rubens, aka Pee-Wee Herman, for indecent exposure? Charles Manson's 1971 conviction? Jennifer Grey and Matthew Broderick's fatal car crash in 1987? Or something else? Let us know below. Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.